I'm responsible for the AutoStore sales here in Singapore and any APAC region that does not have a front office yet. So my topic today is turning fulfillment into revenue growth, enabling e-sales growth with AutoStore. Before I go further, these are the agenda, and then I just go straight in about a bit about myself. As I was putting this into point form, I realized my entire career so far has been about engineering movement. First from elevator to now, then to warehousing. So engineered movement to ensure that you get the best bang out of the solution that you are investing in. Okay. So right now I'm in the intra-logistics. So our role, we call it intra-logistic, a subdivision under the big bracket of logistic. So what is intra-logistic and who is Kardex? So Kardex in short form is actually a Swiss listed company. We say we founded in 1977. Actually, we were founded much, much later than that. We are today present in 30 countries. In APAC, we're almost in every area in APAC. But in Southeast Asia, of course, is Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand. And then our newest office is actually in Japan. So we do end-to-end in our business sector. So we don't just become, not just in design, delivery, and then go live, but we also do the life cycle. Okay? So specific to AutoStore today, we have actually we just reached our 5th year as a partner of AutoStore. In our 5th year, we have today put AutoStore in 21 countries, 130 projects, and we have delivered almost 4,000 plus robots. Okay. Specific to Kardex, we put in the first AutoStore in Thailand. AutoStore team will say, what? Yes, we did put the first AutoStore in Thailand. We put the first AutoStore in Philippines. And then further down south, we put the first AutoStore in New Zealand. Okay? So in Asia Pacific, we are just about to reach the 3rd year. So that's how far we have progressed. Okay? So what is AutoStore, right? AutoStore is a compact, modular storage solution where the robots retrieve the bins. So it's a goods-to-person solution to ensure accurate picking, high-density storage solution, and then you get the best bang out of your warehouse space. Okay? And it's a very simple solution with only 5 components. You have the tracks, where the robots runs on top. You have the bins, that's where your goods are stored in there. Each bin, maximum 30 kilos. And then we have the ports, that is the workstation, where the bins are bring to the workstation. Same thing when you do receiving, you put in the goods in here, and then the robots will bring the bins and store inside any of this area in the grid. And then the 5th module is the service mezzanine. Okay? So let me show you, this is a very static thing, so let me show you what AutoStore is. So we are just right behind this booth. We have a small demo grid at our booth. So if you would like to know more and you would like to see how the robot actually lifts the bin, do drop by at C31. Okay? So let's talk about the topic about turning fulfillment into growth. Before that, I think most of you have seen a warehouse or have a visual of what a warehouse looks like. Maybe some of you are working in a warehouse or running the warehouse, right? So say yes if this is your warehouse. It's not a bad warehouse. Actually, if you look at it, it's actually a pretty good warehouse. They have already digitalized, a bit of 5S issue. EHS guy will come and talk to you. But things are not that bad, right? This is maybe on the day when you have high sales, but not the big sales like the yesterday 3.3 or 11.11. So what happened when you have 11.11 sales, right? Maybe it becomes like this. Yes? There's a bit of a chaos. But with e-sales, another thing is returns. You have to deal with reverse logistics. And maybe when you come to this stage, you say like, maybe I need some kind of automation. Business is growing, let's speed up things a bit. Then, yeah, you have some sort of automation, which is a conveyor. But this is total chaos. Yeah? And all these are AI generated, but I can tell you, we have seen this kind of warehouses before. But this is not relating to the customer that I'm going to talk about, okay, just so you know. Okay. So about our customer, when they come to us, about our customer, right? They are a strong brand with great loyalty coming from their customers. They are strong in both spaces, brick and mortar, and online sales. Okay? So they saw their online sales are growing, accelerating, as with most of us. I think a lot of us are pivoting towards online sale rather than going to shop in the shop. So with that, as with their business growth, with you growing in the online sales, of course, more SKUs, more variation, more choices for your customer. So sales are growing. That's not a problem. Growth are coming. But their question is, and they ask themselves before they come to us, is they acknowledge that growing without control is a chaos. So how do we take control of that? So how do we scale without really actually buying a new warehouse? So it's not just about automation. For them, when they come talk to us, their intention, their objective is, how do we control costs, have controls, control of labor, and control of costs? So the discussion is not about automation. That discussion is about the total cost of ownership when they run their e-business. Okay? So what did we do? Okay? We gave them AutoStore. They went to Google, they see a lot of solutions, and AutoStore was one of the things that they say, well, maybe we want to talk about this and discuss further with AutoStore, Kardex, about AutoStore and see how that fits. Okay? And they did put in an AutoStore. So AutoStore gave them a few things. The density, because we compact the storage within the same footprint, we give them 4 times the storage, at least 4 times the storage solution. We give them accuracy. Pick accuracy is very important because that relates to somewhat your customer satisfaction. When your e-growth is growing, Lazada, Shopee have an SLA agreement. So you cannot just say add more people. At some point, that's just going to go crazy. So they have controls on that too with the AutoStore. And then the next question is scalability. Can it be scalable? We may not be able to buy a very big AutoStore, but can we grow with this solution when our business grow? So with AutoStore, we achieve all this with them. Most importantly, first thing is we complete the project on time, in fact, faster than what they wanted. That was enough for them to capture the 11/11, the 9/9 sale, and then the season sales, the holiday festive season sales. Scalable, for sure. They started below 6,800 bins. Today, they are operating at an AutoStore that is with 31,000 bins. Throughput is relating to your sales, your business growth. So their throughput, we started by 452 bins per hour. That's if you imagine one bin is equal to one pig, we gave them 452 pigs in an hour. And now they have extended the AutoStore, where they now have enjoying 246% extra pick that is going to be good for the seasonal period, the high peak sales period. And energy. You know, like with the Iran war already on Sunday, our senior prime minister, right, already warned us about electricity is going to go up, right? So electricity saving with AutoStore in 9 months without any shutdown, it was 400 kilowatts per month, in total 9 months. And then when I went back there in 12 months, 720 kilowatts total. I always like to share this because if I give you 720, 400 kilowatt, what does that mean? What it means is this. I went back to my house and checked my electricity bill. Every month, I spend between 400 to 450 kilowatts per month. Okay? And that's significant. When you have an automation, it actually does not actually consume a lot of energy. And let's talk about people. So before we went in there, they have some sort of automation, which is voice picking. But that still involves a lot of walking. Okay? So with the AutoStore, the employee does not need to walk anymore. The goods comes to them. The picking comes to them. Okay? And of course, we also think that automation means we lose people, right? We need to cut down some headcount. No. They retain the same number of operators they have before automation to what they have today. Because why? The robot is still faster than the human. So if you have one operator, the robot will be waiting for you to pick. There's a lot of robots waiting up there to drop the bin. So you need two operators because one to pick and one to wait for the printing label to ready and to slot inside the plastic bag. So no loss in headcount. Okay. So how does that design look like? Their first AutoStore is just a very simple cube. It's just a square. We gave them 4 ports, 13 robots. As I said, slightly below 7,000 bins. And then 3 months later, I got a call from the customer. Hey, Sierra, how fast can you give me an extension? I swear to you, that was the discussion. That was the call. I'm like, wow, nice. I hear from my customer. So the question was, how much? It's not about cost. How much it will cost me to build an extension. It's how fast you can give me extra bins. So from this design, do you want to know what it looks like? I will have to show you anyway. This is what it looks like now. They have 2 more ports here at the back. Just now you see 4 ports. This is not 13 robots anymore. It's no longer just about 7,000 bins. And it's not just 4 ports anymore. Their growth was, I'm not saying AutoStore helped them to grow. They already have that kind of demand coming in, but we help them to be able to achieve and to actually get more with the AutoStore. And now, the next video, I'll show you the real thing because it's not just animation and some some diagram. So this is how their AutoStore now look like. Same visualization, but in the reverse order. So this is where the growth, with automation, your growth become profitable. I did share just now that the question is not about automation. The question becomes kind of framed around the total cost of ownership. Okay, so you scale your orders, but not your costs. So what is total cost of ownership? In summary, it's your cost to operate, cost to grow, and the cost of risk. In a manual operation versus the automation operation, in your manual, your cost to operate is, of course, the labor cost, cost of errors, cost of electricity, cost of rental. And then cost of growth is relating to your growth with new spaces, more manpower, or if you choose to continue with manual operation means more racks, right? But then the risk is, of course, not meeting your service level agreement if you're selling through the marketplace that is not yours. Seasonal breakdown, peak season breakdown. And that leads to customer dissatisfaction. Okay, so that is on the manual total cost of ownership. That's how you add it up. That's be your TCO. But what about automation? No doubt, automation that's one-time investment that you need to buy the entire solution. So that is that. Okay. Then there's still the same cost, right? Cost to operate, cost to grow, and then cost of the risk. With automation, because of the number of ports that we have designed, your labor cost is fixed. The throughput is designed. The solution is designed based on the 90th percentile of your, basically, order lines. So it's designed together, and then we add in the business growth. So it's designed already for the future. So you already know what is your cost to operate. So cost to grow is, of course, when you grow further, then you need to expand. So yeah, there is that new cost. But for sure, one thing you will not need is the cost of the new warehouse, because it's a compact solution. Risk, minimal, because the pick accuracy is going to be there. It's not true human, where you kind of have to check the SKU number. All these are done because you already digitalized. You have to digitalize before you automate, right? So we're just leveraging on your first part of the business transformation, which you already digitalized, and then we move into automation. And definitely no breakdown when you have a peak seasonal sales. To bring it down, if I take a very quick rough guide of like 4,000 orders in a day with a 15% growth, this would be your cost of ownership in the manual operation. And with AutoStore, in total is 530. And these are the assumptions that I put in there. So the total cost of ownership, right? Oh, I have the typo error here. So manual versus automation, you can see the red line here is the manual, and this is the cost of automation. And if I bring it up to, say, 6,000 orders per day, right? If you take the, I should use the percentage, but I didn't. But you can see that, the steep line at growth is not as steep when you're on the automation. So is automation really expensive? That one-time investment, but if you look at the entire analysis of cost of ownership, maybe it's not so. And this is where our customers have done the analysis when they decided, like, we need to automate. But what is the best automation out there? So using the same numbers now, we will put it into the high numbers into per year basis, right? What is the cost per order? And that's very important because when you run an e-business, you want to know what is your cost per order because that is also what. Do I have Lazada and Shopee today? I mean, they will charge you the same thing, cost to fulfill an order. So at 4,000 orders, your cost per order on the manual is slightly above 40 cents. And then at 6,000, yeah, you can bring it down to 35 cents because you get that volume. But in automation, it's still going to be lower. It's at 29 cents. And if you have more orders, that's where you enjoy the economies of scales, like they say it, right? The economists will say it, right? So this is the cost per order, which is very important when you are on the spaces of e-commerce. Now, maybe we look at the cost per order trend of the manual versus the automation. Actually, this capacity break should be at the year 0, which is here. But you can see, right, the manual versus AutoStore comparison. On the assumption that you don't grow anything other than volume, right? Then, your volume remains the same, but you have more offering, basically more SKUs. Because when you have more complexity, that's where your cost will actually going to be going up. You have the same volume at 4,000 orders, but you can see when you want more growth, not through volume, but just through offerings, right? You can see at year 3, that's where it breaks and it just goes really steep. So manual cost per order grows when the complexity grows. So complexity really drives your costs up too. But you control it with automation. Okay? So it's a lot to digest because you know what? Even as I was doing this slide, I get confused by it sometimes. Like, what am I trying to calculate to make it relatable to you all, right? But right after this, I'll be at C31, so come by. I'm sure you'd like to know more, the logic about it, then maybe we can discuss further on this. Okay. So, today, Kardex is in the spaces of intralogistic. We are the partner of AutoStore. We call ourselves the system integrator. We also have our own product, being the Ramstar product. We also have, of course, with that, we also have our own R&D department. We have come up with our own solution, or addition features to speed up, to enhance the picking accuracy. Okay? So what are these, right? These are the bin induction to facilitate the faster bin into a newly built AutoStore. When we build up the AutoStore, we need to bring in all the bins there through the port. So we created this. We also have the sensor cleaning station where the robot has sensors on it. It comes in here, it gets a burst of air, no manual work. You just program it where you just say each robot takes turn, comes in at certain interval of the week to get itself clean. We have the intuitive picking assistant. I presented this in last deliver, and then some of our visitors here actually have been in some of my events. So we have the intuitive picking assistant to speed up the picking processes. And then we also have the robotic arms. If you're running a dark store, you can do that with the AutoStore together with the robotic arms. So I hope I got you interested with AutoStore, because we have some offering for you. We understand automation, to many of you, thinks it's still very expensive. And I'm not saying it's not expensive, but we're trying to frame it where, let's not talk about the cost of investment, but look at your total cost. Because today the discussion here is more about strategic and operational matters. But what we have is today a solution that we package it. We call it the AutoStore Starter Grid. Okay? So what it is? Of course, if you want to know more, you can go to our website, /starter grid. But the starter grid, in essence, it's a grid with 4,000 bins, 4 robots with 4 chargers, and 2 ports. It's a quick deployment. From the time you place the order, we can complete it in between 6 to 9 months, depending. Okay, today we have the Iran war, so shipment might be affected. But many times we actually deliver much faster than that. The shipment is an issue. So you will have, so it's not just we send it to you, we also do the entire project management into commission, into go live, and still hold your hands during the go live to stabilize your transformation processes. Okay? So if you'd like to know more, please come to C31. And if you like to do some analysis right after this, if you want to know really how much is the cost of AutoStore, right? If you want to have a very high-level kind of estimation, you can check. It's called the AutoStore calculator of StoreX. If you can just input all this data, you will get a quick output, including a quick generation of an AutoStore for your warehouse. Thank you.